Greetings, friends! Welcome to a totally different place. Completely different. Obviously nothing like I've done before. I'm currently moving, between two different places, and all of my cars and my tools and my stuff and everything I like doing, other than working or video games, is there at the old place. So I'm kind of spending a couple of months at my parents' place until the new place opens up. I can't move into the new place until middle of April, so I'm stuck here for a while. And what I want to do is work on some cars. I kind of had cars at home to work on that were old and needed a lot of work, but they're not here right now, so I'm going to use some of my parents' cars, specifically this one. They have this one crammed kind of in the back corner of their garage. This is the back of the garage where they send cars that have misbehaved. And this one hasn't been run in a long time. It's been a couple of years, actually. So every time it's been out, it's kind of run a little bit worse as a result of just sitting for too long. And one of my goals is to make it work again. So the last time it ran, according to my dad, he had to use ether to start it, and he got it to the end of the block, and it quit. And then he pushed it back, which is kind of an impressive feat, because he was probably 65 at the time. So I'm not going to have you guess what kind of car it is, because, kind of gives it away. I think it says Ford right on the hood. I'll just do kind of like an intro video to introduce the car, show you what I got to do, that kind of thing, and get started getting this thing on the road. It's still kind of the middle of winter. It's like winter. It's warm out, and it was raining earlier today. It was 50 degrees. But there's still some salt on the road, so we don't want to get it out just yet. But alright, the car in question here is a 1965 Ford Mustang GT. I'll try to grab the camera. This will be a whole new vlogging experience because I only have one camera. And I gotta hopefully frame everything so you don't see the giant mess that is in this garage. I had to spend a lot of time cleaning just so I could get back here. And you do not want to know all the stuff that tripped over and potentially broke on my way here. But here we have the car. It says Ford, nice Mustang emblem. It is burgundy. It's a coupe. It's got the nice GT wheels, GT badges. It is an authentic factory GT, which I think they're less than 5,000 of. Nice pony interior, the rally pack. It's all very hard to see. And it has become blanket storage, more or less. And under here we have the engine. I hope there's enough light. I should have grabbed a drop light. Alright, I don't usually use this kind of light, but when I do, it's because I can't find the good one. Alright, 289, 4V, 4-barrel carburetor engine. It's not the high-performance one that you could get this year, but it's still got enough power. This isn't a race car anyway. This is when the Mustang was more of a style thing, a kind of cruising around car, a pony car. But anyway, we've got the big filter on the top. This one has power steering right here. Everything looks like it's in decent shape, with just a couple of exceptions. I think here you can see right there. That's not a very good streak. Some in here. Some dots and some paint coming off. And that's because this car, the last time it was out in a big way, was at a car show, like usual. And my dad had this old vintage battery thing that had battery caps that looked kind of like, it looked kind of like an old battery from the 60s, but it was a new battery, so it would actually work. And someone stole the caps right off the car in the car show and ended up getting battery acid all over the place. And my dad tried to clean it up as best he could, but it still caused some damage. And it has not been to a car show since. Used to go to a lot of them. There's a couple of trophies over there from car shows. Yeah, it's kind of just been parked, which is really a shame. But, if you're going to take your car out and going to get wrecked every time, you're going to stop going to car shows. Alright, so first step in this is going to be checking kind of basic stuff. Fluids, filters, tires, that kind of deal. And because I only have one camera, it means you're not going to have to look at my face the whole time. So be thankful. Guess we'll start at the front of the engine, work our way back. We got radiator. Let's see, okay, we got water in there. It's covering up the fins. Water doesn't look super nice, but it doesn't look too bad. Go ahead and put that back on. So radiator check. Look at this tiny radiator, by the way. It's like, I don't have two available hands. It's only this wide for a V8. Tiny little radiator. Oh, and look at the fan. There's no shroud. All the better to chop all your fingers off with. What do you say? Next up we have this dealie, which is the power steering pump. Looks like, yep, that's got fluid in it, up to the full mark. Not all of these had power steering. This one did. Power steering and I think the handling package or whatever, so it's got stiffer suspension and faster steering ratio. Still pretty bad by today's standards. But hey, the thing is over 50 years old. Give it a break. Okay, next up, oil. This thing. Let's pull that out. Let's see. Ooh, that oil's pretty gross looking. I don't know if I can get it on in the light here. Yeah, it's all black and muddy. It's got enough of it, but it's real gross. Okay, so plenty of oil, but should get an oil change. All the fluids in this thing probably need to be changed. This car's been sitting for, I don't know, 4 years. Generally, they say replace oil every few months, or I usually do once a year in my other cars, so I only put on like 500 miles a year. I don't drive very much. I stay at home a lot. What do we got next? Oh, I guess I skipped the battery. That's at the front of the car. We got this battery tender thingy on it. It should be good. Before we put that on, the clock and the rally pack was still going, so it's got power. Probably not enough. I don't think the clock was right. All the wires seem fine. I think the distributor cap's fine. This is an old car that has points, so it's not a solid state ignition. It has points, and I think the points are still fine. At least they weren't fine, but my dad had a file on to make them fine. Let's check the air filter next. On the screw of this little wing nut. Take off this big cool thing. And look, a frisbee! No, it's not a frisbee. Don't use it as a frisbee. It's got these cool stickers. Isn't that cool? Alright, here's the air filter. Oh, that was stuck down. It's just supposed to be sitting there. That's just how old it is. Well, the air filter doesn't look too bad. Stick that back in there. Carburetor looks fine. I don't know if you could see a difference after it's sitting in a climate-controlled garage. It's not like the thing's going to rust. Let's get this back. Alright. Oh no, it's not straight. My OCD is hurting. There we go. Alright. Tighten that down. I think the last thing I wanted to check today is the oil filter. Ooh, that's not... Looks like there's some leaking maybe under there. I think that's a power steering reservoir or something. Oh, brakes. Probably the power brakes. Yes, this has power brakes too. And front disc brakes. It was a fancy car for 65. Next thing I want to check was transmission fluid. Don't trip over the battery tender. Come on. Don't trip and fall down on camera. That would be bad. Might scratch the car. Also my face. Okay, so the transmission fluid is this thing. Gotta figure out a way to check that with not all my hands. Alright, let's see. Transmission fluid, there's plenty of fluid in there. Just a lot of it. And it looks pretty good. Okay. That's good. Delicately slide that back down. Alright, that should do it for fluids. Probably tires next. Let's see. Okay, that tire's got air in it. I don't know where to find a tire pressure gauge at the moment, so I'm just going to eyeball. Yeah, that looks fine. And those ones have air in them too. Just make a quick pop inside. See, the lights are working. That's good. Clock in the rally pack is not working anymore. Huh. Oh, and according to the TAC, we are currently idling. No, that's not correct. Floor mats are crooked. Oh no! And it's dirty. There's grass in here. This will not stand. Everything else seems alright. A couple of things aren't quite as clean as would be nice. A couple of things are sticking out. That's probably not great. Everything else looks fine. Dash isn't cracked. This is an automatic transmission car. The center console and this cool hidden thing. See, up here is an AM radio. AM only, and you can program these for different stations. And then, tuning and volume. And under here, boom! FM converter. So you can listen to FM radio in really, really low quality, because it's from the 60s. Yeah, all this seems okay. Original headliner. Not that that's probably focusing. But yeah, okay. Nothing's on fire. Everything seems to be working fine. You can see here this car was repainted at one point. This is the original paint here. This is a paint line, and this is the new paint. The previous owner, I think, did this, or the owner before him. Not a super great job, but, I don't know what it looked like before. But yeah, everything else looks alright. Don't see anything leaking, except maybe that. Look into that later. That whole thing looks a bit rusty. Just some surface rust. It's really dusty. I mean, that's probably not so good. I think the lights work. I can check that later when the battery gets fully charged up. We just plugged it in. But so far it looks like fluids are good. Something's leaking that we might want to look at. And it needs an oil change, which should be really easy. I can see it. I can see the oil filter. It's right there. It's really easy to reach. I can reach it from underneath too. I checked. These old cars are designed so you can like work on them. The new stuff is, I think the new stuff is designed to break your wrist. Really, I don't think it's designed to be worked on. In contrast, here's a newer car engine. See the oil filter? Anywhere? This is probably oil. You can check oil here, I bet. Fill the oil here on top of the head. But yeah, where's the oil filter? Huh? Can you even fit your hand? Let's pretend it was down there. Hand is stuck. Can't get to it. Let's pretend it's over here. Hand is stuck. Can't get to it. You're screwed. And as always, it's good to wear your nicest shirts when doing any work on a car at all, so when you get dirt on them, you know your wife is going to kill you. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. Certainly a new interesting thing for me to do. If you want to see more of these, please leave me a like and a comment and let me know. I think my goal with this is, address problems with this car as they happen, and then hopefully in the summer we can do maybe a vlog of like driving it and maybe taking it to a car show. So that's an idea I had. Obviously this is just the very beginning. I'm trying to kind of get an idea of what needs to be done, and there's a lot more stuff to check because this really doesn't run that well. But it used to run great. Fantastic, actually. So over the next coming months, I'll put out a video every now and then whenever I get time to work on it. And yeah, wish me luck. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.